Oh my god, it's got your name on it.
Hey Forum, my name is Manny, aka CascadeScents. Welcome to another video, and this time I'm joined yet again by Lily.
Hi.
Thanks again for doing this. Alright, so what's cool about this video is that we're going to review some of my most complimented fragrances from each of these respective brands. So a lot more high-end stuff, mainly niche stuff, and I really want to know what my friend here, Lily, would say about them, because sometimes you don't really associate compliments with some higher end fragrances. Typically you think about the art, but it doesn't mean that they don't have feedback in mind. And I think I'm going to prove that with this video. It's on Lily here. She's going to rate them from 1 to 10 and we'll see where everything lies. You ready for this? All right, so the first one we're going to take a look at is this.
So it smells really nice. It smells citrusy. It has that shower gel vibe, which I think by this point we should give a name. We should give it some sort of a handle that, you know, the fragrance developers can, you know, refer to with the shorthand. It smells really good. I like it a lot. Yeah, this is more leaning male for me for sure.
Okay, cool. So citrus, shower gel. Does it smell expensive, cheap? How does it lean?
I feel like citrus is such an accessible fragrance. I mean, your dish soap smells like fragrance, or your dish soap smells like... Citrus is a very accessible fragrance. Dish soap smells like citrus after all, and that's not very expensive. So it's hard for me to say if this is an expensive fragrance or not, but you did allude to the fact that these are your more high-end fragrances, so that leads me to believe that it's a fancy one. But I think just by smelling it, that wouldn't necessarily be clear to me.
Right. Okay, fair. Out of 10 though.
It's an 8 for sure, solid 8.
Okay, all right. So the one we're talking about is by Roja Parfum, and it's called Elysium Parfum Cologne. Now, what's cool about this scent is that it combines some of the more popular aspects of men's perfumery nowadays, and that shower gel vibe we typically give a name. We call them kind of like blue fragrances per se.
Oh, okay.
So that stemmed from a fragrance from 2010 called Bleu de Chanel, and made popular by Christian Dior with Sauvage since then. And this also not only has aspects of that, but it kind of hits your nose like Aventus to a certain extent. But you have a cornucopia of these things, still high quality, but I wouldn't say it strikes me as more esteemed, if anything. So when you said 8 for more, I guess, an everyday fragrance, you would think, I think that's very fair.
I'm going to call them blue from now. I won't call them shower gel smells.
I would rather you call them shower gel scents.
Okay. But now I know.
All right, next up, there you go.
Oh, okay. I like this a lot.
For real?
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's reminiscent to some things that you've made me smell before, or I should say asked me to smell before. It has a little bit of that, sorry, I'm having reactions as the different notes like hit me, so as I'm kind of like making faces while I talk. Yeah, it has that a little bit of that shower gel vibe, but actually there was a second there where it made me think of, what's the one I like by Dolce & Gabbana? Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana, and that's one of my all-time favorites from myself. So it was giving me a little bit of that. I really like this a lot.
Whoa, okay. Would you say it leans femme? Would you say it leans masculine or unisex? What's going on there?
I think this is unisex. This is maybe of all the fragrances that I've smelled on this channel before, closest to that, you know, wherever that balance point between masculine and feminine is.
Right, okay. I would definitely agree. And with that being said, what would you give it out of 10?
That's a 9, I think.
Solid 9, really? Okay, it's funny because you actually hated one of my fragrances from this brand, and this one is called Another 13 by Labo.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was Santal 33, which is very notorious in Toronto and mainly New York, how a lot of people wear that stuff.
Yeah.
But this stuff, I feel, has that head-turning quality, but it doesn't have that weird vegetal sharpness that scent has. Instead, it's a heavy dose of ISOE Super, which is a note that's synthetic, that can be manipulated to smell like woods and musk, among other things, but with a very austere yet personalized approach that Labo has. And I feel like their fragrances do a good job of also conveying that. So I think it's perfectly unisex. And I think, and forgive me if I'm wrong, you wouldn't mind this off of yourself and someone else.
Right. I would wear that in a heartbeat, and I would be very happy to smell that off of somebody else.
Lovely. Okay, so 9 out of 10. All right, next up, there you go.
This is, okay. If I smelled this coming out of an Axe shower gel bottle or an Old Spice shower gel bottle, I would not even bat an eyelash. This smells precisely out of that aisle in Shoppers Drug Mart. It's not a bad smell, but it's pedestrian. It's very kind of Nothing special about it, but I do like it at the same time. I feel like, yeah, there's probably a dozen fragrances that I would almost find indistinguishable from this fragrance.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells really good, but I'm kind of just like...
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And out of 10?
Simply because it's so been there, done that, I'm going to say 7.
All right, so the one we're talking about is by Xerjoff. It's called Udin Overdose. So there was an initial version called Udin before this, but this one takes a less sweet approach and instead is trying to focus on other warm notes here, tobacco blossom, which is very unique. So it's very enveloping, very warm, but very masculine at the same time. They smell nice, but I understand why this could smell pedestrian. I do like the way it smells off of me, and people do tell me that I smell nice with this, but if they have inexpensive in the back of their head, I might want to rethink this one.
Yeah. Knowing how expensive this brand is, I'm kind of surprised because I really think that the same effect could be achieved by something quite a bit less expensive.
While that's true, I think the one thing that separates it, barring like the ingredient quality or the blend, is the performance. Like you're going to have something here that lasts a lot longer. In case you're looking for something accessible, in case you're looking for something that still performs, then look no further. There you go. Okay, next up.
Okay, should I allude to the fact that I know what this is?
Go for it.
Okay, so knowing what this is and knowing that I've smelled this before and actually had a negative reaction to it, I'm surprised how much I'm vibing with this right now. I like this a lot. This is, again, kind of feeling very unisex to me. I don't know if I would wear it. I don't really think it's a match for me, but I like it. And I'd be, actually now that I think about it, I don't know if I would want my man wearing this because it's pulling a little bit more feminine than I would want him to smell, but I like it.
Cool. Okay. And about that scent, what would you give it out of 10?
7.
Okay, cool. All right. So the one we're talking about is a collaboration between the fashion brand Off-White and Byredo. This one's called Elevator Music. Now, what's cool about this scent is that you have a lot more of that austere, unfinished, deconstructed vibes that Off-White's known for visually as far as her clothes. It might kind of come off as played out with how minimalist scents are getting anyway. But I think when I smell this, when I go to an actual Off-White store, the room to smell like this in general, it makes a lot of sense. If you've seen any of their clothes, they look like they're from a place where you walk in and the rooms were just freshly painted white. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I feel like now that you say that, not that I am lucky enough to own any Off-White stuff or anything by Virgil Abloh, but that this smells like what I see when I see their products, when I see their items. In that respect, it's really successful.
Yeah, so insanely synthetic, and it does get pretty good feedback because I think it's hard to hate.
Yeah. I think knowing how much I really enjoy some of the other Byredo fragrances, so La Tulipe, Belle d'Afrique, I think then smelling this next to those two, I'm kind of like, no, like I don't want anything to do with that.
Right.
But on its own, I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised how much I'm enjoying it.
All right, Elevator Music. Here we go with the next one.
Okay. So I think this smells like timber. It smells like wood, kind of like the part of Home Depot where they sell all the wood and they cut it up there in front of you. It smells very much like fresh cut wood, which is a good smell. I don't know if I'm kind of vibing with it as a fragrance, something that I want to smell on my body or the body of somebody else, but it's a nice smell.
That being said, out of 10.
Oh, it smells so much like wood. That's crazy. I'm going to say 6 simply because I don't like it in the form of a fragrance.
Okay, so not even off your man's or yourself. Okay, so the fragrance we're talking about is this. It's by Frederick Malpaar Dries Van Noten, and Dries Van Noten's one of my favorite designers. He wanted to have something here that reminded him of home, something a little bit more cozy. So we're talking woods, sweets, spices, among other things. What I get out of this is kind of a rubbery quality from the saffron, believe it or not. And it smells incredibly warm off your skin, like very enveloping, but it's not as sweet as other fragrances from this brand, like mainly a Musc Ravageur. Now, despite that fragrance, this brand is mainly known for their florals, but I do like some of their warmer scents, and mainly this one, partially because it does get me good feedback.
And that's the guy that makes the rose one that you wear.
Right.
What's it called?
Well, Portrait of a Lady?
Portrait of a Lady.
Yeah.
Hashtag Portrait of a Manny.
All right, there you go. Dries Van Noten, Frederick Malpaar. That shit's so good, though, Portrait of a Lady. It's so good.
It's geriatric.
Moving on, last but not least, there you go.
Okay, Okay, I like this. And again, it's evoking some nostalgia in me, but I'm having a hard time putting my finger on what that is. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this. It's really going to bother me that I can't think of what memory this is conjuring in me, but it's making me glad. It's making me think it has something to do with my Nana who's passed away. But I don't know what specifically. But I'm glad. It makes me happy. I like it. There might have been something in, like, you know how you get like the little sample perfumes when you're kind of young in your stocking at Christmas?
Whoa.
I'm thinking that perhaps I might have gotten something that smelled like this or similar to this. The samplers were the brand that does Trésor.
Oh, Lancôme.
Lancôme.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were Lancôme fragrances. So I'm wondering if there isn't a very popular Lancôme fragrance that has notes that are similar to this.
I mean, that's one of the most popular fragrances ever.
Yeah, I got little mini versions of all the bottles, like 5 or 6 of them. And so I'm thinking that maybe one of those smells similar to this. So for that reason, I'm thinking this smells feminine.
I would agree, to be honest.
Yeah, I would wear this.
Cool. Okay. Would you care if, like, your man wore this too, or?
I would be okay with that, I think.
Okay. And out of 10?
Maybe like 8.5.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the one we are talking about is Silver Mountain Water by Creed. A lot of people might be indifferent to the scent if they were to smell it off card, but I'm not shocked to see that you like it too. But off of me, no one's ever had anything bad to say about it. As a matter of fact, historically, it actually gets me better compliments or more positive feedback than Aventus, mainly because with Aventus, sometimes it is polarizing, sometimes it's a little too much. This one, I feel like, is just right every time. Some people have lamented in the past that it leans feminine, and as a result, if you are a straight cis male, you might not want to wear it. But honestly, while I do agree with that, I've only had really positive feedback with it. So if you are afraid of coming off that way, off your skin, I don't think it's going to. Maybe like this, it will, but you don't know until you try it. 8.5.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say about this is that since it's called Silver Mountain Water, it's based on Olivier Creed's experiences in the Swiss Alps. So skiing there and then seeing river streams running through it. It's supposed to be an alpine glacial kind of scent, a little green as well. But for whatever reason, just because it's like so clean and just, I think there's like a naturey innocence to it. Like, I feel like it's a good person scent. I feel like this is something that Roger Federer would wear.
Yeah.
I mean, Switzerland as well, you know? Yeah. Like, if I were to set, like, famous people or tennis players, like, he definitely gets this one. Yeah. And I know that's your man, so, you know.
Love him.
Yeah. All right, well, there it is. We got through a lot of my most complimented fragrances from some of these heavyweight fragrance brands, but can only be one winner, and it's this guy, another 13 by Labo. Not shocked, though. 9 out of 10. Could you say a few words about this again?
This is definitely, oh yeah, wow, it's so good. This is definitely a nice comeback after the Santal 33, because I really disliked that one so much. I'm glad that I'm actually on board with something that so many people like. Like, I can finally see what the appeal is because, you know, this is so good. So yeah, the
cool.
Labo has been redeemed in my esteemed, important opinion on fragrance. I'm sure they're very glad.
Oh, I'm sure they're thrilled.
Everybody mention Le Labo in the comments so they can see this and be able to sleep at night.
There it is. Yeah, but honestly, out of the ones here, I'm not shocked. I'm not saying you're basic or anything, but it is without a doubt, by far, out of everything here, my most complimented scent. Not close. You know, I try not to spray it a lot just because there's a certain someone that I kind of reserve the scent for. I'll just throw that out there. But with that being said, I think that about does it for now. Yeah, great. Hope you enjoyed this show. If you guys have any comments, let us know in the comment section below. Is there a fragrance I should have included by one of these heavyweight fragrance brands? Please let me know. As well as if there's any fragrances outside of them. Should I have included a Bond No. 9, a Parfum de Marly, something like that? Please tell us. And also tell us if you'd like to see Lily back on the channel. Thanks again for doing this. And also give us a like if you did really like this, and if you really, really liked it, subscribe. And if you want to be the first ones on this type of content, be sure to hit the notification bell for more. Until then, thank you for watching. Thanks again. And take care. Peace out. Bye. Wear your fragrances.